Is either part of this combo worth your hard-earned cash? That's the Fate Black crankbait casting rod, or the, what do they call it? The Fate Black cranking casting rod. And that's the Origin F1 reel. All right, we're throwing a suspending lipless crankbait today. As far as the rod goes, ooh, you hear that shriek? We're going to talk about how to fix that. Oh, Lord. First cast. Look at this. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. This was just gonna be a little talky vid with the fishing action in the background, but man, first cast. What a cold bass, boy. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. No complaints on that. Alright, let's get you back. Wow, I guess they are active today. Anyway. What was I saying? Right, so the rod. It hasn't really been enough time yet to truly know if there's anything to complain about. So right now, as of about 6 months later, I'd say it's worth it for the sensitivity alone on these vibrating types of baits. You're really going to feel the rhythm on these things. I like that it's middle of the road between glass and graphite. It's a hybrid of the two. You get best of both worlds, which is nice. I haven't really gotten a chance to catch any monsters on it yet. Well, unless you count this guy. Oh! That's a giant turtle. Okay. It felt like a log. Yeah, big old turtle on the rod, and it didn't snap. So, that's at least a point or two for it. Yeah, I've thrown all kinds of baits on this. Of course, crankbaits. Of course, the suspending lipless crank that I'm throwing right now. So I've done jerk baits, chatterbaits, even a spinnerbait. And I didn't feel the spinnerbait quite as much. That's probably the only one that wasn't a really strong vibration. But still quite functional. Yeah, so overall right now, after only about 6 months, I'd say the rod is worth the investment. It's at a pretty decent price point, which again was one of the major factors in my decision here. Oh yeah, time will truly tell. So of course we'll update if anything happens. If I snap it on something, we'll see. But as for the reel, the Origin F1, I had my initial out-of-the-box complaints. The first one obviously was that shriek you heard. I'll go ahead and throw up a link here to a really quick fix for that. I just learned that after 6 months that fix tends to wear off, so I have since redone that whole process. And as you can tell, she's back to quiet again. So let me know if you guys have any other more permanent solutions for that, or if it's caused by something completely different than what I thought it was. Let me know. Right, so we had the reel squeal. And then for the first couple of weeks, the thumb bar was really sticky. Like after every cast, and you go to turn, that sucker would not come all the way back up. It was just like squishy right in the middle. But that is one of those things that seems to have worked itself out, but it certainly managed to ingrain in my brain to constantly check after every cast, which is kind of annoying. But once you get all the kinks worked out, it sure does cast a mile. Once you got everything dialed in, you're throwing a decent bait on it. And so far, my favorite thing to throw on it is this mega bass wake bait. Of course, it's called something that's completely forgettable, but yeah, I'll go ahead and throw up a clip or two here of throwing that thing around on the pond. A lot of fun. And the cool thing about that wake bait is that you can kind of fish it several different ways. And that day I was throwing it around and doing a lot of rod twitching. Treat it more like a popper than a wake bait. And while that did catch quite a few bass, I noticed something kind of disturbing if I went a little too aggressive on the rod twitch. It felt like the spool was vibrating back and forth. I don't know how else to explain it, but it just felt like a crazy rattle inside the reel there. If I was just slightly more gentle, then it was no problem, but as soon as you tried to really, yeah, it would just rattle, just. So yeah, not sure what that is, how to fix it. Just another weird thing I noticed. And if anybody out there's experienced that, let me know. Do you have any idea what that is? Oh, and another thing that may happen to you if you buy this reel. This happened when something rather large smacked into my bait on the pond. It's an easy fix, but I tend to be lazy when it comes to breaking out super glue. As you can see, the line guide likes to jump out and go for a little walk up and down the line. But overall, especially for the price that I got it for, I believe it was on sale for about 56 bucks. It's hard to beat. Just took about a month or so to get all the kinks worked out and to get everything dialed in to where it was behaving a little more normally. Now, if you don't have time for all that, you just want something that works great right out of the box, maybe look somewhere else. Myself, I've got my eyes on, of course, the Inception line, sort of the next step up. There are some in a similar price point, but the one that's truly tempting is that G2 that just came out at ICAST this year. It's just a little bit slower than the Origin F1 here. This is a 661, and after fishing a bunch of different crankbaits and all that sort of stuff that really needs a slow roll, I find the 661 is even too fast. And that G2, I believe, is a 551. I'll fact check myself on that. But it's also 150 bucks at least. Last I looked on the warehouse. But for right now, I'm not buying anything.